Hello, we've reached Canada Revenue Agency. Chris speaking, agent number 1326 ATL. How can I help you today?
And how are you, sir?
Very well, and yourself?
Oh, living the dream, brother. Trying to. Anyways, I just got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I guess I could have just asked the accountant, but this was it's something that I never really asked before, and that is when you guys or when we withdraw from an RRSP, what are the tax implications on that? Do you just end up paying the withholding as part of your marginal rate for the year? So if you say pull out 5,000 and it's at that 5% withholding, then you still have to pay whatever your bracket is above that. And let's say you pull out 30,000 and you're paying that 30% or whatever. If you're not making that much that year, it gets you can get a deduction and get part of that withholding back. Is that how that operates?
Essentially, yeah. So what'll happen is, like I just pulled out a small amount from myself, and about $10,000. So what's going to happen is 10% was withheld. When I go to file my income taxes, it's going to be reconciled to my marginal tax rate. So the RRSP income will be added as a source of income to calculate my taxable income, and the taxable income will be applied to the marginal tax rate that I'm in according to the tax bracket of my overall income. So in some cases, for people with fairly low income, they might end up with a refund as a result of the tax withholding. People who are in higher tax brackets may end up in a situation where they have a small amount to pay in. It really depends on your overall income level at the time of income tax filing.
Okay, so two other questions. Really appreciate that, by the way. When you make capital gains then within the account, those are completely tax deferred, and when you pull that money out, there's no tax penalties or anything. It's just the marginal rate.
Yeah, so it's the amount of the withdrawal. So I may have put in $100, and I may be taking out 10,000, and it's applied as income, regardless of the investments and the steps that have been taken, whether it's capital gains, dividends, what have you, between the time you invested it and the time that it's withdrawn.
Okay, so that's way better than I thought. For some reason, I was under the idea that you had to pay some form of penalty if you pulled it out before retirement age, but that's actually way better.
Yeah, it's I guess the big disincentive is that by pulling it out, you don't necessarily regain RRSP contribution room.
Yeah.
If you're younger, that may really go against you. If you're older and fairly close to retirement anyway, it may not be here nor there. I mean, the amount of RRSP room you have left to contribute. So it really depends on where you are in terms of your financial planning and life cycle.
Okay, so that's the biggest downfall then. Whereas like with a TFSA, you can re-add that capital the following year, but with the RRSP, you lose that deduction forever.
That's correct. The one catch with the TFSA is that if you do multiple transactions, withdrawals, and deposits within the same year, it doesn't reconcile right away.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I have $10,000 in contribution room, I put in $10,000, decide, I need a new car, I need to put down a down payment, take out the $10,000, then I can't put the $10,000 back in during the course of this year. I have to wait till next year till I recapture that room. So the TFSA is a little bit different like that, so you need to be cautious in terms of how you approach it.
Hey, no problem, man. I definitely appreciate this. I learned something new today. Thank you.
My pleasure. It's better to learn this way than it is to get a tax penalty,
Yeah, I over-contributed one year and I pulled out, and for some reason, because I did really well with my TFSA, I just got it open in 2019, and I was just we had this debate with a few of my friends about what happens if you pull it out, because I've heard from some people you get screwed, and other people are like, no, it's just marginal rate. So I'm like, let's just go straight to the source. Let's just get it clarified. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, and really what that's trying to prevent is people investing I get a hot stock tip, so I toss it into a TFSA. I realize a bunch of capital gain from the stock, then I pull it back out again, then I try to invest again in another stock. So I'm trying to avoid. So as a taxpayer, by doing that, I would be effectively avoiding capital gains taxation. So it's really there's a lag that prevents you from being able to play the tax system like that.
Yeah, for sure. No, but that's awesome, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure. Nothing else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect. Couldn't ask for a better answer. Thank you.
Okay, sir. I hope you have a great day now. Keep safe, okay?
You too. Cheers, brother. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Clearly, I am completely wrong about the RRSP and how withholding tax worked. This has completely reframed the way I think about investing in these accounts, and I have to say it is time that I absolutely max out my RRSP, guys. Now, you pointed this out, which is why I love this community so much, because I am not a genius. We're all learning here, folks, and because of you guys commenting on my video from literally yesterday about the RRSP, and my biggest concern with it being the fact that I thought you had to pay penalties because this account was specifically dictated for your retirement at 65. But a lot of you have pointed out the fact that I am wrong on that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just call the CRA. And apparently the two biggest differences between the TFSA and RRSP on withdrawal is that with the TFSA, the following year, you can recontribute the dollar amount that you pulled out, whereas with the RRSP, guys, you lose that contribution room forever. Therefore, what I'm going to be doing is basically taking probably some cap gains off the table for my managed account. I'm going to be selling some stocks and basically not only reducing my tax rate for the year on the money I contributed to that stock, but all those cap gains will now be tax deferred. And I wish I had somebody explain this a little bit more thoroughly earlier on, but that's why I'm here, guys. Not to be arrogant, but to learn, and I'm hoping you guys are learning with me. If this is something that interests you, consider hitting that like button and subscribing, because I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to be actually utilizing this stuff in my next video. So stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.